Welcome back. I'm Jeff Pangle, Technical Seed Agronomist for Winfield United Delta Region. We're having our tailgate tour today. We're going to be talking about mid-season corn management, and we're going to do that in conjunction with a new program we're going to call the Next 10 Days. So what we want to do with this Next 10 Days emphasis is to come to you with some opportunities or production practices that are coming up in the next 10 days on your cornfield. So it's a little bit difficult sometimes when we try to do that in conjunction with a big region, but what we want to do is chase this corn, chase these soybeans through the growing season and try to stay maybe a step or two ahead with some of the production practices and management techniques that you might be incurring as you go along. So what we want to talk about today in particular is mid-season nitrogen management, or sometimes we would refer to that as pre-tassel, a pre-tassel nitrogen application. In my opinion, I think the pre-tassel nitrogen can be done in two different aspects, two different decision-making processes. We can do pre-tassel nitrogen as a part of a nitrogen management program, an overall management program. We can, for 225 bushel corn, we've talked about this 1.2 units of nitrogen per bushel of yield goal. So we're talking about 275 units of nitrogen in this program. We might want to put a part of that pre-plant. We want to come back with a good dose of that side dress. We might want to save that 40 or 50 units for the pre-tassel shot, just to spoon feed that corn as it's going through the growing season. Now, one of the things we do know, and I'll embed a picture of this into the video, is that at VT or tassel, at that growth stage, corn has used about 60% of the nitrogen that it's going to use. So that tells us that there is still an opportunity to influence the production of our corn mid-season. And that's kind of what we come back to, two options with our program approach, where we got pre-plant, side dress, and then coming back with a pre-tassel. Or we can use the pre-tassel nitrogen as an adjustment. And so what do we mean by an adjustment? Well, by the time we get to tasseling corn, it's also starting to develop a silk. And when that silk starts to develop, the ear formation's already starting to show up in that plant at R1. So we can begin to look and determine what our yield potential is, and I'll cover that in another video. Even at tassel corn, the ear will be very small, but we can still count kernel rows and kernels per row, and we can always, of course, check our population. So if we're in a dryland situation and we put out 200 units of nitrogen, and we go do a yield check on our corn at VT, at tassel, and we determine that our production potential is more like 200, we can adjust that 40 units of nitrogen at that time. Same thing with irrigated corn. Let's just say we had set out to do a 225 bushel nitrogen program, and we determined that our corn is better than that, and we're going to be short of nitrogen. We can adjust at the pre-tassel nitrogen stage. The other thing we want to also keep in mind for adjustments is when we get in a situation where we have rain after rain after rain like we have had this year and last year both, we're going to lose some nitrogen due to leaching. And so if we've determined that we've lost 30 or 40 units of nitrogen and we haven't adjusted at the side dress stage, we can adjust pre-tassel. Now, the last thing that I would like to mention about the pre-tassel nitrogen application is, you see my note here at the bottom of the whiteboard, no agrotane. Agrotane makes the pellets sticky. And anytime those pellets get sticky and they hit that leaf surface, they're liable to streak that corn. And so we're not going to put agrotane on our pre-tassel nitrogen application. We're in an irrigation cycle already at this stage, so whatever urea we put on this 100-pound shot, it's going to get watered in. It's going to be taken up quickly by the plant, so we don't need a nitrogen stabilizer at this point. And if we do, actually, it's probably going to do more cosmetic streaking and striping on the corn than we would otherwise. So thank you for joining in today. As I mentioned in this video, the next video we're going to talk about how to determine yield with VT corn. So stay tuned. Again, Jeff Pangle, technical seed agronomist, Winfield United Delta Region, on the next 10 days. Thank you for watching.